everybody, and welcome to Friends of Scales, Episode 1. Today, we are going to be talking about what snakes are saying. So, what does that exactly mean? We are going to be learning today about snake body language and behavior. With me today is B, the jungle carpet python. There's a couple more friends that you will be meeting throughout the show today. As you can see, B is being very curious right now. She's trying to investigate my head and what is going on. So, how can snakes talk? How can snakes tell us what they are thinking? Obviously, snakes can't communicate to us. They can't speak English. So, snakes communicate through their body language, through different types of huffing and puffing and hissing and tail flicking and all kinds of stuff. There's also a lot of misconceptions about snakes. Because snakes are such a unique animal, because they don't have any legs and they move in such strange ways, early humans, we often misunderstood what they were trying to say. Snakes are subtle in their ways that they communicate, but if you learn what they're trying to say, you can become an expert in it in no time, which is what I am going to try to do for you guys today. So, first, we are going to talk about what calm snake body language looks like. So, B here is very calm. She's very relaxed right now. She's obviously moving around a lot. She's putting her face up against mine, but she is very calm. I'm not nervous at all holding her. You know, you can see she's wrapping up around my neck here. That is not her trying to eat me or size me up. That is just her trying to hold on and get a comfortable grip. So, what are some signs of a calm snake? Well, some signs of a calm snake are consistent but not constant or sporadic tongue flicking. So you can see she has been, throughout this entire show, she's been flicking her tongue at a pretty normal pace. She's not really holding it out. She's not really focusing it on one thing. She's just using it to try to learn what her environment is. And of course, a snake's tongue is used for them to be able to smell the environment. It's one of their primary senses. They have very, very poor eyesight. And that, regular tongue flicking is a good sign they're pretty calm. You'll see later when they think they are trying to eat or when they feel threatened, their tongue flicking is going to be much more frequent and much more focused on one thing. Another common sign of a calm snake is this very relaxed and fluid movement. You know, although B is being very active, she is being very curious about what's going on around her, and you might even hear that she's huffing a little bit. She is very, she's moving very fluidly. She's not being jerky. She's not being twitchy. She's not being stiff or tense. Those are all signs that a snake is being very calm. I really think that the primary way that you will learn the difference is by seeing the difference throughout today's show. In case I haven't said it, by the way, B here is a jungle carpet python. She is about 6 years old, and she has been friendly from day one. We've obviously done some work with her to get her accustomed to doing shows and stuff, but we have never had a problem with B showing any type of aggression or issues. One thing I would like to debunk real quick, because it's a very common misconception, is that a snake that is in an S pose is ready to strike. Like you can see her right here, she's kind of in that iconic S pose that people associate with striking. That often is just a way that snakes naturally move and rest their heads. So you can see she's in that S pose right now. That is not at all an aggressive behavior. That is just her trying to rest her body naturally. Now, while that can be a defensive behavior, which you will see later today, it's commonly not. So, I think what we are going to do is move on from B and move on to Fred to display some more of the some more of the eating and food behaviors. All right, so this is Fred. Fred is a bull snake. Bull snakes are found throughout Central and Southern America. They are a very common snake, and you may notice they look a lot like rattlesnakes. Bull snakes do something that many species of snake, reptile, and even just other animals do, in that they mimic rattlesnakes to try to ward off predators. They will even, if they feel threatened, they'll find something hard to whack their tail off of to try to recreate that iconic rattle sound. Fred here has absolutely no venom. They are completely non-venomous. And they also have that iconic triangular shaped head that often is associated with venomous reptiles. So Fred himself debunks the idea that a triangular shaped head means they are venomous. So Fred here is here to display feeding behaviors. Fred is a very friendly snake, but he is also excellent at showing off how snakes act when they think they are going to be hunting or when they think they are going to be getting food. You can see that Fred is acting just like B was right now. He's moving around, he's not tense. That tongue is just flicking out at normal intervals. He's not twitchy, he's not flicking his tail. You know, snakes do vocalize, they do huff and puff. That is something that a lot of people think is threatening, but is often something they can just naturally do. Now you may notice he's wrapped on my arm. You might be thinking he's trying to constrict me. He's not. He is just holding on so that he doesn't fall while he's trying to explore the very interesting smells of the table here. So we're going to move over here to do feeding demonstration for Fred. So we are going to be putting Fred in the bin, which first I need to unwrap him for. So we are going to set him in here. And now Fred often will eat in a bin, so you may notice when he gets in the bin, his behavior is going to change a little bit. I'm going to be taking his food out, and I want you to observe the way that his behavior is going to change once he smells his food. So I'm going to put it near him. You're going to see that instant snap to focus. That tongue is a lot more focused in. His movements are going to become twitchy. He's going to become jumpy. You're going to hear he's going to get a lot more vocal. So you can instantly see how much he has changed, and then he's going to strike on it. But you could see immediately the way that his behavior changed when he smelled the food and when he thought he was getting food. Now, if I tried to take this food from him, you might notice that his tail is going to twitch a little bit if I start tapping him. If I start irritating, you can see that tail flicking there. That is another common defensive behavior of snakes because he doesn't want me to be taking his food. So he's going to flick that tail to try to tell me who's boss and to try to get me to leave him alone while he eats. So while he eats, we're going to leave him now to enjoy his meal, and we are going to move on to Luigi, where I think we are going to really be able to talk the most about defensive behaviors and, you know, how to try to handle it. So I would like to talk a little bit about Luigi first, because you're going to see that Luigi, he's going to, you know, maybe seem like he's mean. He's going to maybe seem like he is aggressive. Before we take Luigi out, though, I would like to put you guys in Luigi's perspective for a moment. So I'm going to move you guys down onto the floor, and I'm going to show you guys what it might look like from Luigi's perspective. If he's sitting on the floor here, and I am walking up to him, I'm going to look pretty massive, and I'm going to look like, oh, I could step on you by accident. So a lot of times when people get randomly bit by snakes, or, you know, they're outside and all of a sudden there's this snake underneath them that's hissing and, you know, tail flicking and trying to strike at them, they think, oh, that snake's being really mean. But if you look at it from their perspective, you're walking up to them and they think you're about to step on them. They think that you are initiating this conflict, which is why snakes often act so scared, which is why they often act so defensive. I like to say there's no such thing as an aggressive snake. There's only scared and defensive snakes. Now, When snakes get scared and defensive, the best thing you can do is not engage them, is to leave them alone. But for the purpose of today's episode, I am going to be engaging them because I want to show you some of their defensive behaviors and properties. I want to show you how they act, how you can handle it. And I also want to try to show you a little bit that they really aren't trying to be mean or aggressive, because a snake's top priority when they feel scared is to run away. So when I open this, I guarantee you, Luigi's going to look at me. He might even try to strike at me. But if I turn away, which I'm going to do, I'm going to show you his first instinct is going to be to try to run. So when I open this, you're going to see he's very focused on me right now. You can see he's locked his eyes with me. He's watching me. That tongue is constantly flicking. He's trying to get as much sensory information as he can right now about me and about what I am trying to do to him. You can see if I move this way, he's going to shift his focus over this way. If I move this way, he's going to shift his focus over this way. He is entirely focused on me, which is actually another way you can tell a calm snake. A calm snake isn't going to lock its focus on one specific thing. Now, if I try to approach Luigi right now, he is going to try to strike. If I try to move my hand towards him, he's going to try to defend himself. He feels very cornered. He feels like he doesn't have much of an option. He is opening his mouth. Now, when I try to grab him, you can see he's going to try to strike a little bit, although I don't know if you saw that because of the paper towel. Now, I'm going to take him out. You're going to see he's going to try to strike at me. You can see he's using another one of his tactics. He's puffing himself up a lot right now. Now, if I were to set Luigi down right now, you're going to notice he's going to try to run. This isn't an aggressive animal trying to attack me. This isn't an aggressive animal that is purposely being mean. This is an animal that is scared and is trying to get away. That first instinct that he had when I set him down and let him go was run, get away, let's get out of the situation so that I can be safer. They really only strike or act aggressively as a last resort. You can see even Luigi, who is our most defensive animal that we have here, even he is hesitant to strike unless absolutely necessary. And after he can get a little bit more reassured that I'm not here to harm him, you can see that he really only does it when he absolutely feels like he has to. And what he is doing right now is trying to evaluate how he can potentially get away. So, what can we learn from Luigi here? Well, we can learn that snakes' first instincts are not to hurt us. A snake's first instincts are to try to run. We can learn that a scared snake is going to lock eyes with whatever its perceived threat is. We can learn that they are going to flick their tails. We can learn that they are going to consistently tongue flick in the direction of whatever they perceive their threat to be. And we can learn that, you can see I'm really poking and prodding at him right now. We can learn that they really only use biting as a last resort. And when given the option to run, they often will take it, unless they feel like they are being held, or unless they feel like they are in immediate danger. So you can see I let him go again. He's going to try to run again, until I bring him back up here and back closer to me again, in which case he's going to focus his attention back on me and back to trying to defend himself. Snakes really don't try to attack us out of malice. Humans are far too big for them to consider us food. So when a snake is striking, they're striking to try to distract us so that they can run. You know, if Luigi is standing here, and I'm actually going to demonstrate this, I'm going to bring Luigi out. I'm going to set him here. You can see he's not going to run right now because he feels like if he turns around, I'm going to grab him. If I'm trying to poke and prod at him, he's going to strike at me. But watch, if I poke him and then I turn like I just got startled, I'm looking away. Now he's going to try to run and get away until I get back here and I'm trying to grab at him again, in which case he's going to try to get me, and then he's going to try to run again until I grab him again. Snakes are not aggressive animals. Snakes are only defensive animals when they really feel like they need to be. And Luigi feels like he needs to be, because Luigi was not handled as a baby. He was not used to human interaction. I also want, another thing that I really want you guys to all note here is that every time Luigi has struck at me, he has let me go. You know, a lot of people think that snake bites are really bad, or that when a snake bites, it's going to hold on and keep trying to bite over and over. Every time he's bit me, he's let me go. I'm not considered food to him. He doesn't think that I'm food. And even if he did, I would be far too big for him to really do anything about it. One more thing, the last thing that I want to talk about in today's episode is actual snake bites themselves. What happens when you get bit by a snake? So, Luigi here, of course, has tried to strike me a number of times. These are not bite gloves. These are just gardening gloves. This is not a protective sleeve. This is just a flannel. Snake bites really are not as serious as people often take them to be. I have been bitten before. And really, unless the snake is venomous or unless the snake is very, 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 very large, it's really not going to be that serious. Snake teeth and snake mouths are not designed like ours are. You know, when we think of our mouths, we know that our mouths are designed to chew. Our mouths are designed to crush up our food and swallow it. A snake's mouth is not designed that way. A snake's mouth, they eat their food whole. They have no need to crush or chew it. A snake's mouth is designed to hold on. So their teeth are designed as such. Their teeth are pretty much designed as teeny, teeny, tiny little pinpricks. And if we could have a camera zoom in on B here, I'm going to try to open her mouth to show you snake teeth and to show you how her mouth is. Come here, baby. So a snake's mouth is very foreign. It's not at all like our mouths are. We have our jaw, which is connected. Snakes do not have a connected jaw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring B here. This is the appropriate way to hold a snake's head. And I am going to use this small hook to hook into her mouth and open it for us. You can see that a snake's mouth has those two different jaws, and they have itty, itty, bitty, teeny, tiny little teeth. They don't have crushing teeth. They don't have big teeth. And they don't have any kind of aggressive teeth. And you can see even B, after I just pried her mouth open and made her not happy, she goes right back to being calm and trusting. Because snakes are not aggressive animals, they are just scared animals. Now, what about, I just talked about, I just showed you a snake's mouth, I just showed you a snake's teeth, I just explained they aren't designed for crushing. Well, why is all of that relevant? That's all relevant because pretty much any snake bite you get is going to be entirely superficial. It is going to be like getting a real bad bite from a piece of Velcro. You might get some ping pricks, you might bleed a little bit, but every single snake bite I have ever gotten, even from snakes like Luigi or larger pythons, they have all healed within a matter of days. They are not serious, they often do not bruise, and often the bleeding stops within a minute. Really, the most important thing to do when you get bit is just disinfect it and let it heal, because that's really all you need. And I think that is going to conclude our show. If you would like to tune in next week, we are going to be talking about common myths and misconceptions about snakes and reptiles as a whole. Or our next show, I'm sorry. We're going to be talking about common myths and misconceptions about snakes and lizards and all kinds of different stuff. I have been Alex Knapp with Captain Aquatics Fins and Scales, and I will see you next time.